All right, let's get right into it. We're going back to World War II for what has to be one of the most incredible stories of battlefield ingenuity you will ever hear. It's all about a single Marine who, facing an impossible situation, decided, you know what? The only way out is to build his own solution, literally from scrap metal. So let's start with a question, a really basic one that soldiers have faced forever. When you are completely, totally outgunned and victory seems impossible, what do? What's your next move? Well, for one guy, the answer was simple. It was direct and, frankly, it was a little bit insane. You don't just find a bigger gun, you build one yourself. To really get why he had to do this, we have to go to one of the most brutal, most nightmarish battlefields of the entire Pacific War. Iwo Jima. I mean, this place was just volcanic ash, fortified bunkers, and a desperate, bloody fight for every single inch of ground. So for the U.S. Marines hitting the beach, the situation was grim. They were pinned down, taking heavy fire from a deeply entrenched and incredibly determined enemy. Their standard-issue weapons? They were struggling to provide the kind of overwhelming firepower they needed to break through. And this is where our hero enters the story. Now, for most Marines, the Browning automatic rifle, the BAR, was a solid, reliable weapon. But for Corporal Tony Stein, a 23-year-old from Ohio, it just wasn't cutting it. He literally looked at the standard military machine gun and basically said, meh, too slow. Now, who does that? Who looks at a military-grade machine gun and thinks, yeah, I can do better? Well, as it turns out, Corporal Stein was the absolute perfect person for that exact job. His background gave him a totally unique set of skills that would change everything for his platoon. You see, before he was a Marine, Tony Stein was a toolmaker. He was a machinist. This guy didn't just know how to fire a weapon, he knew how they were built, how every little piece worked, and most importantly, he knew how to take them apart and put them back together in a completely new way. So while he was stationed in Hawaii, before the invasion of Iwo Jima even started, Stein decided to solve this too slow problem all by himself. He set out to build his own personal machine gun, a custom weapon that has since become the stuff of military legend. And his workshop? It wasn't some high-tech facility. Nope, it was a junkyard. And his primary source material wasn't some guarded weapons depot. It was the wreck of a crashed Navy bomber. Okay, this is where it gets really wild. Just think about the sheer audacity here. He climbs into that wrecked plane and rips out its AN/M2 machine gun. Now, this is a weapon designed to be mounted on an airplane wing and fired electrically. It's just a heavy, square metal box with no stock, no grip, and no trigger a person could actually use. But Stein, the machinist, he got to work. He welded a stock from an M1 Garand rifle to the back, bolted a bipod from a BAR machine gun to the front, and then he handcrafted a brand new trigger system from scratch. He called his masterpiece the Stinger. So what did all this Frankenstein engineering actually get him? I mean, what was the point? A standard BAR machine gun, a good weapon, could fire about 600 rounds per minute. Pretty respectable. But the Stinger, what could it do? 1,500. Just let that number sink in for a second. An absolutely blistering rate of fire. This wasn't just a small improvement, it was a quantum leap in what one soldier could carry. Yeah, let's be perfectly clear about what that means. Tony Stein, working in his spare time with junkyard parts, created a personal weapon that could fire more than twice as fast as the standard-issue machine gun used by the entire Marine Corps. And if you're wondering what that must have sounded like, well, it was terrifying. It was completely unique on the battlefield. Eyewitnesses said it didn't sound like a normal machine gun at all. It sounded like a chainsaw ripping through canvas. So Stein lands on the beach at Iwo Jima with his custom-built supergun. But as he was about to find out, having a weapon that powerful, well, it creates a whole new and very dangerous kind of problem. So, as his platoon is getting pinned down by heavy enemy fire, Stein just stands up. He holds the Stinger at his hip and unleashes this incredible storm of bullets. Bunkers that had held up against other attacks were just shredded. The man was a one-man wrecking crew, single-handedly clearing a path for his fellow Marines. But here's the catch, right? When your weapon fires 1,500 rounds a minute, a full belt of ammo is gone in just a few seconds. Stein ran dry, fast. And he was stuck on the front line, with the main ammo supply way back at the beach. He knew he had to get back for more ammo. But running in combat boots through that island's deep, soft volcanic sand, it was like running in quicksand, slow, clumsy, and exhausting. So he made this unbelievable decision. First, he ditched his helmet to save weight, and then he took off his boots. He ran barefoot through the absolute chaos of one of the deadliest battles in modern history, over sharp volcanic rock, shrapnel, everything, dodging enemy fire, explosions, and just the sheer pandemonium of the battlefield, all without shoes. And he didn't just do it once. He made that terrifying barefoot run a total of 8 separate times, keeping his platoon supplied and saving their lives with every single trip. Stein's unbelievable bravery and his one-of-a-kind weapon completely turned the tide for his unit. But that kind of ingenuity, that kind of heroism, it came at a very high price. He saved his entire platoon. He cleared the way for the American advance in his sector. But that unique, chainsaw-like sound of the stinger also painted a giant target on his back. A few days after his incredible barefoot runs, Tony Stein was killed in action. For his extraordinary heroism, he was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest award for valor. In the end, he went down in history with a nickname that couldn't be more fitting, a testament to the young man from Ohio who, when faced with an impossible fight, decided to just build his way out of it. He remains to this day the mad machinist of Iwo Jima.